Divorce Dad Diaries, day 213, and I'm leaving New Plymouth and getting on the bus and heading back to Palmerston North and the old Manawatu. But it's breakfast time, so first off, I've got to grab breakfast, and naturally, just grabbed a few burgers. These fries have a cool hairdo, honestly, and a nice latte. We had a bit of time to spare before the bus came, so we thought I'd, go down to the shoreline. I've never stood on the shoreline here before, and it's a beautiful view. There are a bunch of people running a half marathon. Not sure why you'd do that, but then it was on to the bus. Got a gold seat again with the chargers and the leather seats. And then it was through all the usual towns: Inglewood, Stratford, Parterre, Waverley. I actually saw a ribbon cutting at the Salvation Army in Stratford. Looks like they're finally getting one. But eventually we reached Memory Lane in Wanganui. And of course, here is the beautiful Virginia Lake. I used to go here as a kid and feed the ducks. I used to take my kids here and feed the ducks. I actually think I had my first date here too, to be honest, when I was 16. That was a wee while ago now. Down here at the bottom of, I think it's called Parks Road or Peaks Road, I can never remember, was a 24-hour gull. In fact, it's still there. I remember when we were, out on some late nights as teens, when we needed to pick me up, this was the only place that was open 24/7, so we'd go on what we call a gull mish, or a mission to gull. Here is the BK right next to the McDonald's. That was always fun. I had a couple friends here who used to work at the BK, and you'd pick up creamy mayos for $2 each. After a long night, you'd turn up with $10, get 5 creamy mayos. And of course, we stopped just outside the market on the river. I watched some of the rowers go by, which always reminds me of that time I floated down the river on like an inflatable turtle, and some rowers offered to give us a ride. That's a story for another day. But I did end up picking up a little something in the market for Christmas, and then it was back on the bus, heading over to Manawatu. First off, quick stop in Bulls. You always know when you're in Bulls, when you can see the giant mushroom, as my kids used to call it. This place really is a blink and you miss it town. I've got a lot of memories here too, but I'd have to talk at like rocket speed to get through them all in the tiny amount of space we have. So, moving on, we went through to Fielding. They had like a car show on, which was pretty cool. Saw lots of old cars. And finally, we reached Palmerston North. But the socialising isn't done, because I've got to pop over to Double Shots just across the road, where I'm meeting an old friend for lunch. Yet another friend that I haven't seen in probably 3 years at this point, Stephen Raymakers. I popped in. I wasn't that hungry after a big breakfast, so I just grabbed this croissant out of the cabinet that was staring at me, and of course I made sure to grab a coffee to go with that too. Coffee was really well made and really smooth, and the croissant was just as you imagine it: cheese, ham, tomato, and a croissant. Oh, lovely. And if you're wondering why I name dropped him as opposed to the majority of my other friends who I go and hang out with on this channel, it's just because he is actually an author under that name, Stephen Raymakers. He lives here in Palmerston North. He's published 4 fantasy books, 3 in the Aria of Steel trilogy. I've read all of them. I get all of his books. If you like to read fantasy and you want to support local, there's a recommendation for you. His first book got a few awards, I believe, and some really good reviews. His new book was meant to come out around about this time, but unfortunately it's been delayed to February, so I'll just have to get him to send it to me. But if you're wondering where I am, I'm at my hotel. So I have a hotel booked for tonight. I specifically booked this place that was just up the road from Burger King, because I'm actually going to my mate's 30th birthday party tonight, and I wanted a place that I could pop into and get a couple creamy mayos. But this is a cute little motel located back off the road. It only cost me $130 for the night, and I got this really nice room with more beds than I need, and a TV and chairs and all sorts, so I'm stoked. I also asked if I could check out late tomorrow, and they said yeah, so happy to do that. So it's actually my birthday today. Happy birthday to me. I am 34. I often get that wrong. And I'm currently enjoying some time by myself in this hotel room. I've done so much socialising this week, so much more than I usually would, and I'm just really enjoying having my own space and just sort of decompressing for a few hours. In saying that, I did receive a text from my daughter this morning. She was the first person to message me at 7 a.m. on the dot to say, "Happy birthday, Daddy, you're the best daddy ever." Oh, yeah, it was so hard not to cry. This is, my first birthday since the separation, and, usually they'd come in on the morning and give me their handmade cards and stuff, so I'll just have to make sure to give them a really big cuddle when I get back to Rolleston. For now, as I said, it's my mate's 30th birthday party tonight. I have not seen her since my 30th birthday, I think. And it's not just her, there's a few other people going that I haven't seen in a while as well. So it's going to be really good to, again, catch up with even more people that I didn't get to see before I moved down south. So I'm going to go have a shower, get ready, and I will catch you on the flip side.